Welcome to Megadads, where gamer life meets real life. Are you in the mood to play a perfectly adequate hack and slash RPG with giant bosses and a flying fantasy world? Then you'd love to play Granblue Fantasy Relink. This game is set in the world of flying islands called Zega Grande, and you play as the captain and crew of an airship called the Grand Cipher as they fly through a world in search of an island at the edge of the world where the gods live. The ultimate quest, though, is put to a halt as one of your crew members, Lyria, is captured by an evil cult that wants to use her powers for evil deeds. Now, back at the start of this video, I called this game a perfectly adequate hack and slash RPG, but don't let that keep you away from this game. The mechanics are easy to learn. You run, jump, slash, cast, and explore. As you level your characters up, you gain points to share amongst your characters to level up their stats and skills to use in the journey to rescue Lyria and ultimately the world. Usually it's the story bits where you start to learn to care about the characters in an RPG, but in this game I really enjoy the fact that as you start to fight through the hordes of monsters in each area, your characters are constantly talking, bantering, and interacting just like a crew of friends would in an adventure. I loved that aspect of the game, as it helped flesh out the relationships between the characters, and it was a cool little touch. Not to mention that the AI for each character didn't suck, as you had a bunch of characters running around, and they contribute very much to the battles. They're there to revive you if you fall, and they're attacking the enemies as you play. If you battle enough, you also get to perform chain attacks with your crew, which take the form of huge special moves for each character, and culminates with a massive 4-player strike if you can get things right. The game gives you a lot to do, despite it being a very linear game. You have a city full of people as a hub world that you can return to between story missions, where you can upgrade your weapons, buy items, and recruit a few extra crew members, and queue up to tackle additional side quests in matched multiplayer, or on your own for rankings and additional rewards. The multiplayer aspect did disappoint me a bit, since I was never able to be matched with someone to experience how it felt to quest with others, so I can't really give you the lowdown on how that felt. Still, I enjoyed the game as a solo experience from start to finish. Now, no spoilers here, but when the game is over, you still have more you can do, especially if you're a completionist. You can keep working on earning those trophies if that's what you chase. Anything you may have missed in the first playthrough, you can go back and try to get again. Now, what I really enjoyed about this game were the bosses. It could have been one of those RPGs where the bosses were just big versions of standard enemies, but they made each chapter's ultimate battle into something large and exciting. There's usually a cutscene that introduces what's happening at the highlight of the level, and then when the bosses come out, they make you realize that these monsters are no regular battle. Granblue Fantasy does not require as much strategy and patience as a Dark Souls game, but if you want to survive, you'll have to do more than just run around and attack. Now, Granblue Fantasy Relink doesn't do much that's new for the genre, but what it does pretty well. I appreciated that the gameplay wasn't trying to be too innovative and new, and could be picked up and learned quickly. If you're like me and you can't play a game too often, some overly complex gameplay mechanics in other games can get lost, to the point of needing to start all over again, or needing to retake tutorial missions and remember the nuances of it all. Granblue Fantasy Relink is easy to pick up and learn at any point in the game. Even though it's easy to pick up and play, it does show deep enough customizability where you should stick with it if you want to rank highly in the side quests for extra rewards. Now, I will warn you, if you play an RPG solely for the story, you might want to steer clear of this one. The story itself is nothing new. Save the damsel from evil, fight giant monsters, and uncover a plot that threatens to destroy the world. Each of the characters fills an RPG trope and doesn't necessarily do anything new for the genre. But all this sounds like a detractor, but if you're looking for an action RPG with some depth, but don't want to think too hard about the lore and backstory of it all, Granblue Fantasy Relink works well. This game is also a sequel to the previous Granblue Fantasy game. I jumped into this world without knowing anything about it. I've never played any other game in the series, and I did just fine keeping up. And I also found that if you do want to explore each character's backstory and motivations, you can do so at the side quest counter for extra character rewards. Now, here at Megadads, we also like to remark on whether these games are kid appropriate. Can we play these with our kids? Do we have to kick them out of the room while we enjoy ourselves? Well, this game is easily kid friendly. It might be a little harder for the little ones to play, but there's no reason your kids couldn't watch you play, or if you wanted to give them a chance, they could do it if they want to. It's fantasy violence, there's no bad language, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. Granblue Fantasy Relink hit all the sweet spots for me at the moment. It's not a perfect game, and it's certainly not the most original one out there. I still recommend you giving this one a chance if any of this sounded like your type of gaming experience. I could definitely find myself diving back into this game again one day, and possibly exploring some other games in the series as well. I debate on whether to go higher or lower my score, but I think in the end I'd go so far as to give this game a 4 out of 5 stars. This game was a pleasant surprise. I'm looking forward to trying the other games in the series now. Thanks for watching our video here on Megadads. Check out other content on megadads.com, our YouTube channel, and anywhere else you can get your podcasts. If you like it all, join our Discord to be part of the conversation.